To provide information to all Friesland Campina colleagues about the MOMST project, we have created this slideshow presentation with spoken text. This presentation will inform you in a broader way about the MOMST project and the actual status of it. The final results of this project are expected to be announced in April 2012. You will learn about the context and background of the MOMST project, as well as the project and its current status. We will also inform you about the steps we are going to make to reach the project's deliverables. Within the context and background, 3 topics will be mentioned. Route 2020 as a fundamental base for the project. Scoping the MOMST project, what it means, and why we've done a demarcation between Summit and MOMS. Directing MOMS with the principles for the MOMST project. To start, we go back to the Route 2020 outlook and the mountain we all know. As a leading player in the global dairy market, Friesland Campina aims to continuously develop its organization and to rapidly grow in selected markets and product categories. To achieve this, besides other initiatives, Friesland Campina will further strengthen and professionalize its capabilities and foundation in the coming years. The MOMST project is an important enabler for this by: first, to create effective business models with focus on cost reduction and performance maximization. Second, to create chain advantages by consolidating and standardizing processes and programs. And third, to share our way of work and herewith introduce best practices as the new standards. So MOMS is based on the foundations stated in Route 2020. Because of the close interaction between MOMS, the One Backbone project within Summit, and the systems and equipment used within our factories, we will give a brief explanation about the scope of this MOMS project. To understand the coherence between MOMS and its environment, we use the ISA 95 standard. Within the ISA 95 standard, we place Summit Project One Backbone on Level 4. This is the standardized global ERP solution for Friesland Campina for all transactional processes. On Level 3, detailed factory scheduling, maintenance planning of activities, and process guidance take place in several different software applications. This is the scope of the MOMS project. On Level 2, we have the SCADA and other software to program these PLCs with basic process information, like delays, counters, and temperatures. On Level 1, we find factory machinery. For example, PLCs directly connected to our fillers, sterile tanks, vaporizers, or pasteurizers. To define the exact difference between Level 3 and 4, a demarcation process took place at the beginning of 2011. If all our business was produced in only one factory, most likely this application landscape wouldn't be that complicated as it is today. But in total, we have 4 different business groups with more than 70 production locations. It makes the landscape much more complicated at all levels. Within the OBB project, the main goal was a high-level standardization of transactional processes. After the implementation of the OBB, everybody will be working in one SAP template for Level 4. Having this exact demarcation between Level 3 and 4, different project groups could continue on their own part of this complicated landscape. The MOMS project goal is to decide upon process and application standards for Level 3 that enable us to reach our ambitions as stated in Route 2020. At the end of the project, we should have a clear sight on a less complex landscape at Level 3. This should lead us to share best practices, a highly available system, and increased efficiency in the supply chain. As a start of the project, Guidance took place via a set of directives. The direction settings for the MOMST project. Examples of these directives are, for instance, a solid integration with Level 4, one backbone, which should lead to a stable system with high availability. Optimization of our operations activities, shown in lower conversion costs. An increased agility of our supply chain, leading to lower working capital costs. But there were many more, finally resulting in a reliability-driven maintenance, production control which leads to lower conversion costs and more flexibility, advanced quality control over our processes, inventory visibility over the entire supply chain. A very challenging goal to aim at, which we do with the MOMST project and its team members. We will now go into the MOMST project itself, its planning and organization, and its intermediate deliverables. First, about the planning and organization. The project is diverted in 3 major phases with their own deliverables. Phase 1. The project direction. Based on interviews and corporate guidelines, we have set our MOMST project direction. This direction guides us strictly towards the required goal. As direction themes, we have, for example, the use of SAP is preferred. However, when SAP is not reaching the requirements, then another application is allowed. ICT, as well as supply chain standardization and harmonization is required. Minimization of total costs of ownership. Phase 2. The solution map with chosen applications, ICT organization and infrastructure. Via a range of workshops, we collect the requirements per domain and for domain crossing functionalities to which the chosen applications have to apply. Against these criteria, in another range of workshops, the selection of the software solutions took place. To gain insight for a better solution mapping and to identify the gap of the current situation with the target landscape, we used a maturity profile and installed base. The MOMST project has also to determine the direction for the design, build, implementation and support activities related to the future applications and infrastructure. At the end of this phase, we have defined the MOMST template. Phase 3. The roadmap. Having the right solutions per domain and a maturity profile, the next step is to create a proper roadmap to give a straight direction for implementing the solutions. This roadmap will provide you with information about timings of the MOMST changes related to the OBB implementation. The MOMST project organization had to cope with the fact that many stakeholders were involved in the decisions made about the MOMST systems. In this overview, these relations are shown. To make these decisions based on best knowledge from within Friesland-Campina, the MOMST project team was extended. For this purpose, we created 5 domain teams with representatives from all business groups and disciplines. Per domain, members coming from all business groups participated in workshops to determine the best solution. Together with ICT specialists, the actual and preferred situation was discussed, which led to a final template per domain at level 3 with a good connection to the OBB and level 1 and 2, a complete coverage of all requirements from all locations around the world, and a best-in-class solution with a proven installed base within Friesland-Campina. The intermediate deliverables of the project until February 2012 are a set of requirements per domain and per business group, finally resulting in a total list of requirements for Friesland-Campina, and a first pre-selection of applications per domain. To reach this long list, we mainly used applications of the installed base within Friesland-Campina. Last December, we sent all plants an inquiry about the maturity of their MOMST systems. And based on that inquiry, we made a maturity profile. With this insight, we learned, for example, more about the actual installed base and the interrelation between these applications. Per domain, we were able to determine the maturity profiles and best practices within Friesland-Campina. Finally, the most important deliverable in this second phase is the preferred solution mapping per domain. Based on the workshops and maturity profile, every domain team came up with a proposal for the best application for Friesland-Campina to continue with. During the third phase, the so-called roadmap, financial evaluation of implementation of the proposed solutions will take place. In this stage, the process of commercial negotiations for these solutions will start as well. Please note that the definite selection is subject to final approval of the ICT Governance Board, which will take place at the end of the roadmap phase. This means that after final approval, the proposed list will be the standard for Friesland-Campina. The preferred solution at the end of the second phase are the domain production with Wonderware, the domain detailed scheduling with OM Partners or SAP PPDS, the domain inventory with SAP EWM, the domain quality with Unilab, the domain maintenance with SAP PM or now called SAP EAM. For more information about this process and its outcome, we advise you to contact the MOMST team or use the links to the appropriate presentations. Finally, a brief overview over the next steps. We will now focus on deliverable 3, the roadmap. As mentioned, the chosen solutions have to be negotiated by our procurement department. This activity will be done in parallel with other steps. Defining the roadmap will involve the complexity of the summit project, the financial, technical, as well as the organizational impact and further consequences of the implementation of the new MOMST applications. Again, we will form work streams for this purpose with representatives from the different business groups. You can find the members of these work streams on our MOMST intranet site. Also, after this phase, we will give you an update about the outcome. Meanwhile, in case of any questions or remarks about the MOMST project, please use our email address moms@frieslandcampina.com. Thank you for your attention. You can find additional information on the intranet. However, don't hesitate to contact us in case of any question.